Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Courtney. I love reading books, talking about books, all things books, and today I was thinking of starting a cozy reading vlog, mood reading vlog. I'm not exactly sure what I'll be reading throughout this video or how long it'll last, but I am currently in the middle of two really good books, and so that has inspired me to start this vlog. So the two books that I'm currently in the middle of are Quicksilver, which I just started last night. I'm only, I am 80 pages in, which is chapter 7, so obviously I have quite a ways to go. And then I'm also listening to the audiobook of The Martian when I'm doing chores, when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I'm showering, when I'm going for walks. So I actually ended up listening to probably almost 3 hours today of The Martian, and I'm loving it. I've had a couple people recommend Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, but I wanted to start with The Martian because I haven't read the book, but I watched the movie a long time ago and loved it. So yeah, I'm listening to the audiobook for that. I'm absolutely loving it. I've already cried. I think I was only like, I don't even know, maybe 2 hours into the audiobook, and something about it just really hit me. I think it was the part, and if you don't want any, if you've never seen The Martian, it's been out for a long time, so I assume that most people who really want to read it and don't want spoilers probably you're not here. But just in case, if you don't want spoilers, just fast forward to the portion when you see me holding up this book. So starting right now. So I think the part that I was crying during was not really crying, just like tearing up a little bit, was the part where he finally makes contact with Earth and realizes that he's not alone on Mars, and that even if he does die, he at least isn't going to die without having talked to another human. And I just think that this book perfectly portrays human resilience and how resourceful and hardy people can be. And I don't know, it hit me. And I like I said, I love the movie, so I knew that I would love the book as well. But the audiobook specifically, it just feels so real. Like, I keep thinking that it literally feels like this guy, the main character of the book, Mark, it really feels like he is real and like he's up there in space right now, and I'm listening to what's happening to him, each day in his logs, and I'm just having a really great time. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I do find that with audiobooks, I have a much easier time listening to genres that I don't usually read. So sci-fi, literary fiction, thrillers, those kind of genres that I don't read as much anymore. Something about listening to them, I'm like totally engaged. But yeah, so I'm absolutely loving that right now. I'll keep you updated. I think I have like 5-ish hours left on the audiobook. Yeah, well, actually, basically 6. I have 5 hours and 56 minutes left. But having a great time. And then, like I said, I picked up Quicksilver last night, and this is one that I feel like everyone recently has been talking about, at least in the booktube, bookstagram circles that I follow, and almost every single person I've seen read this has absolutely devoured it and is obsessed with it, so I couldn't pass it up. Also, I've heard that a lot of people don't like this cover, but I really do. I really do like it. I mean, yeah, it's a little cheesy with this weird little teardrop here and these like fake looking butterflies, but I don't know. I really like very classic looking fantasy covers. So yeah, highly enjoying this. Although Amazon, I am not happy. They keep sending me these freaking damaged copies. So there's that. But yeah, so this book follows, where the heck is her name? So this book follows our main character, Saris Fane. She is a lower level citizen, I guess you could say, living in the Third Ward. And the Third Ward in this world is considered, you're like quarantined basically. You're viewed as sick and diseased and you're supposed to stay in your ward, right? So this is definitely very dystopian. Like, these people are struggling, right? They're not having a good time. And Saris gets through this because she is a thief. She's a really good thief. She's going and stealing water rations from the better water in the wards for rich people, because the water that they get in their ward is like tainted and dirty. And this whole political system is run by this queen who is said to be human, but they don't really understand how she's basically immortal. She's lived for, I think it said, like, she's lived and ruled for 1,000 years, so she's definitely immortal. She's definitely not human, and yet it sounds like people aren't really sure how she's lived that long. But so in the very beginning of this book, she steals something from one of the queen's guards that is very valuable and that she's definitely not supposed to have, and she runs back to her ward, and then obviously they come after her, and she ends up getting captured, taken to the castle. She meets the queen, who is young and beautiful, and something's definitely off about her. Something is strange, something's otherworldly. She's picking up on these vibes, right? And meanwhile, she also has secret magical abilities. She's not quite sure the extent of her magical abilities, but when she's around metals and stuff, they'll start shaking, and it sounds like she hasn't really explored these powers too much yet. But as she's being threatened by the guard and like tortured, like she's clearly about to be put to the death, her powers start to come out and try to save her. And then she gets pulled into a portal into the Fae realm, and that's pretty much where I left off last night. And all of that, by the way, is in the Goodreads synopsis. This guy comes through the portal and pulls her over, and I'm already getting, I'm getting such good vibes. Like, she's in this hospital bed, she's waking up in the Fae lands, she doesn't know where she is, and there's this Fae woman, right, with pointy ears, who's been singing to her while she's been recovering, and she's talking to her, finding out more about this world that she's ended up in. And I'm pretty sure we've met the love interest. Once you've read a lot of fantasy romance, you obviously see the signs of who might be the love interest, except there are certain authors, and you might know which ones I'm talking about, who like to trick you into thinking you know who the love interest is, and then plot twist is somebody else. So who knows? Maybe I haven't met him yet, but I have a feeling that I have, and I'm just so excited for it. I've heard that I don't know if it's a slow burn, but I'm getting the vibes that it might be. And we're gonna have her, she's gonna be trying to get back to her, the human world. Her whole life, all she's heard is horrible things about the Fae and that they're evil. And she wants to go back. She's got her brother to take care of and worry about back in the human lands. I am loving it so far. I don't know yet if it's like 5-star vibes, but it's definitely in the 4-star range as of right now. So I'm probably going to go read a little bit this afternoon / evening, and then I will update you when I have made some more progress on this and The Martian, although I probably won't be listening to The Martian until maybe sometime tomorrow. Okay, I am back with some updates. It is now the next day. I spent a little bit of time last night reading, and then also a little bit this morning before I started my workday, and I am now 228 pages in, and I'm pretty sure last time I talked about this book, I'm pretty sure I was only like 84 pages in, so I got a decent amount in, and I can confidently say that I'm still loving this. It's definitely holding up to expectations. I'm not going to give any major plot things away, but we're finding out more things, or like, I mean, I guess not really. We haven't really found out anything yet. I'm starting to realize that our main male character definitely has some things that have happened in the past that he is struggling through. I think there's going to be like a nice big character arc for him. That's what I'm hoping, at least. And I will tell you, last night when I was only about, I would say like 30% in, because I'm also reading it on my Kindle, I was only like 30% in, and I was already sweating, okay? Some of the bantering between these characters is so good that I was literally sweating, okay? So good. So yeah, I have really high expectations for how this is going to play out. I'm loving the plot, the world building, the romance. I can tell is going to be great. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to read a little bit more this afternoon before going to the gym, making dinner, getting groceries, all of those fun things. And then when I get home, I'll probably also read more of this. So that is the Quicksilver update. Also listened to about another hour of The Martian today, and that's also still going great. Not really any updates on that other than I just feel like with this book, I very much have heightened emotions. Like, I get my hopes up every time that Mark Watney gets his hopes up that, you know, he's going to actually survive. And then when it pans over to NASA and them trying to work things out, like the logistics and the kind of like more politic stuff behind NASA missions and trying to get him back and all of the like shady things that they have to do to try to get him back, I really feel it, you know, like every time something exciting happens, my heart's racing. And then even though I know exactly what happens, like I've already seen the movie, there's just something about something like a book with these high of stakes that is just, it's thrilling, it's emotional, and I'm just really having a great time. I'm really glad that I started listening to that as an audiobook, and it makes me even more excited to eventually listen to Project Hail Mary as well. But yeah, those are the updates so far. It is Friday at 1:22, so like I said, trying to get some more reading in this afternoon and tonight, and I'll let you know when I have made some more progress. Okay, it's only like a half an hour later, but I needed to mention this real quick. I love the dynamic between the two main characters in this, Saris and Kingfisher. She is very much like reckless and kind of doesn't think before she speaks or acts. She's very much, just like reckless and no filter, just does what she wants kind of a person. And then he is your typical brooding, grumpy mailman character, and he also can be a little bit like mean at times, or seems like he like doesn't care at all. But then you also get these little flashes of the person that he used to be, or like that it's alluded to that he used to be, and it's very intriguing, and it makes me really want to find out more about his past, and it makes for a fun dynamic, like I said, between the two characters. And yeah, I'm having the best time. Like I said, it's only been like half an hour, so I haven't gotten much further, but that's all for now. Hi, it's me finally updating this vlog. It's been, I think, like a couple days, 3 days maybe, since I last updated you guys, and I have finished Quicksilver, and I rated this 4.5 stars. It really lived up to the hype for me. Don't mind my curtains that are probably about to blow into the frame. Anyway, I really loved this book and the plot. It's set in a very like gritty dystopian type of world. You have Sarah Fane, who lives in this very poor sector of the human world that's ruled by this undying queen who is supposedly human but has been there for 1,000 years. So that's, you know, that's sketchy, right? And she's a thief. That's how she's been surviving and taking care of her brother. And then one day she steals something that she shouldn't have. She bites off a little bit more than she can chew. And the queen's guards chase her down. She ends up being arrested and taken to the palace. And then, lo and behold, she thinks that she's facing death himself when he comes out of a portal and snatches her and basically saves her. And then she wakes up in a fae world with magic, and she can't believe that it actually exists. And along the way, she meets a very special character named Kingfisher, who is a broody, grumpy, dark-haired male character, which we absolutely love. And has a lot of secrets of his own, a lot of trauma. So, you know, we're trying to figure out a lot of that, but he essentially needs her. That's pretty much the vibe. That's the synopsis there for you. It was so good. It was very tension filled. I love when there's a slow burn between our characters and fantasy books, and it's very not only spicy, but like there's actual tension and build up, and I did feel like we had that in this. I also love that there's so many different types of creatures in here. I don't even know, I can't even like name them all. There's like sprites and fairies, like little fairies, and then also fae, and then like satyrs. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Satyrs. Just so many different types of magical creatures in here, which makes the world feel so well-rounded and fun. And then also the element of alchemy, like being able to change metals. Oh my god, these curtains are driving me nuts. Being able to change and control metals is a magic that is also a part of this world, and kind of the whole point of the journey that this book takes. So I thought that element was really fun as well. And yeah, overall great time. I don't want to say too much or give away any of the plot, but at the end it really gets quite dramatic. There's a lot happening, and it makes me really excited for book 2, which supposedly comes out this October. So not long to wait. If you like high stakes romantasy with spice, highly recommend Quicksilver. To me, it lives up to the hype. I did finish this, all 609 pages of this, yesterday. That's pretty much all I have to say about this, because I don't want to give anything away. There's so much that happens in this that I had to take a day to like try to get my thoughts together, because one thing about me is as soon as I finish reading a book, not that it leaves my head, because like I'm going to remember this one and I loved it, but getting my thoughts together and putting it into words is hard for me. So anyway, hopefully I did an okay job of explaining that. Then I, this morning, picked up The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood, and this one is, I can already tell it's gonna be really funny. It's definitely a rom-com. It's about this girl, what's her name? Delphi, who basically dies by choking on a microwavable hamburger and ends up in the waiting room for the afterlife. And oh, curtains. Oh, let me just hold these. Anyway, she ends up in the waiting room of the afterlife, which is a complete shock to her, as it would be for anyone. And she realizes that she hasn't really led a very exciting or fulfilling life. Afterlife therapist is what she's called, who meets her in the waiting room, is just quirky, full of energy. She's a silly good time, and she plays Delphi's life for her on a screen, so that her life literally flashes before her eyes, and even that woman thinks that her life is sad. So she runs out of the room in a panic, right, and ends up running back to the afterlife waiting room, where she runs straight into the chest of a beautiful, handsome stranger, and she immediately has chemistry with him, has a connection with him, and then it turns out it was a mistake that he's there, and the afterlife therapist sends him back to the real world. And that's where I've left off, and that's all on the back of the book as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I know also in the synopsis it says that she's going to be offered a deal in which she can return to Earth and try to find this mysterious man. So obviously that's going to be the point in the journey of this story, and I'm very excited because it's already like laugh out loud funny, and I'm excited for her to go find her man. I think that'll be really fun. I don't know like how quickly it'll happen, so that'll be interesting to see how the author does that, but I'm already really enjoying this. So yeah, that's the update. I'm gonna continue reading. I have work to do today, so I don't know when I'll update the vlog again. It is Monday, Labor Day, so we'll see, because I have some client check-ins to do, and then hopefully we'll have a chance to read and let you know how it's going. Okay, reading updates. It's now been, I think, another couple of days. I don't know. I'm losing track of time, but anyway, I have updates on The Martian and on The Love of My Afterlife. So for The Martian, I've been listening on audiobook still, and I think I only have like an hour and a half left of that. Still absolutely loving it. I don't know what it is about this audiobook in particular, or maybe it's the narration style or what, or just the story itself. I don't know. It's really got me like engaged, and I get really excited to listen to it anytime I'm doing chores or driving or literally anything. And we're at the point where Mark he made his journey to Schiaparelli, and they're still trying to rescue him and all of that. And yeah, I'm just so excited to see that journey and to see that sense of relief and hope come to life for him now that he's been on Mars on his own for like 400 something freaking days. I can't even imagine. This book really also has me thinking like deeply about like what it would be like to be alone on a planet for that freaking long. Like I can't even imagine the loneliness, but like his sense of humor and his resilience are amazing and just make my heart so happy. It's just like, it's very wholesome. So that's going amazing. And I read a lot of this yesterday or last night. I'm now on chapter 21, which is like page like 150. And I think last time I talked to you, she had just choked on the burger, gone to the afterlife waiting room, and now she has met handsome stranger, right? And makes a deal with the therapist to go back and find him, and she is on the struggle bus, let me tell you what. I love also, like, I love the main character, Delphi. I love her sense of humor, ergo the author's sense of humor. Like, those are such prevalent parts of the story, which makes it so fun. Like, it's clearly, based on the premise, a rom-com, but her writing style suits a rom-com so well. And then the other thing I really am loving about this, it's not really going like the way that I first thought it would, just based on the premise. I think I've predicted something. I'm gonna be very vague with that, because obviously I don't like spoiling things, so I'm not gonna do that. Kind of feel like I know where this is going, and yeah, I'm just having a great time with it. It's very bingeable writing. Like I said, I was flying through this last night. I think I read, I don't even know, I read 150 pages of this yesterday. I didn't want to stop reading it last night. I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, I could, push it a little more. I could go to bed a little later, but then I knew that I shouldn't, because I had things to do today. So yeah, anyway, it's now the next day at 3:37 p.m. So I'm hoping to sit down and read for a little while before dinner, and then settle in with my book again after dinner and get a good chunk of this read. But yeah, it's going amazingly. Right now, I would say this in my mind is sitting probably somewhere at like a 4.5 stars. And The Martian, probably like almost 5 stars. I mean, I feel like I experience audiobooks a little bit differently than I experience physical books sometimes, but I'm just having a great time. Just both of these books are really doing it for me. So that's the update. I'm gonna go read, and I will update you probably when I am most likely finished with both of these. So that's where we're at. Hey guys. Okay, so it is the next day and I have finished both of my books. Hold on. Farm trucks just always be going by all day, every day. Okay, anyway. I finished both of the books that I've been reading so far in this vlog. I finished listening to the audiobook of The Martian sometime this morning on my walk, and yeah, I still stand with everything that I said. I really liked it. It was surprisingly very like emotional for me, even though I knew it was going to happen because I've seen the movie. But I do think that the audiobook is worth listening to because the narration was really fun. There's this sense of obviously building excitement or like anticipation throughout the whole thing as you see Mark Watney get saved, his sense of humor throughout the entire thing and sense of resilience and problem solving skills are insane to think about because it's like, yes, it's a story, it's not real, but you also know that there are scientists and astronauts and all these crazy smart people out there doing incredible things, and it just made me feel this sense of overall awe at the world and people in general, and how people can really come together and make the impossible happen. But anyway, big feelings for that book. I think I am going to settle on like a four something. I'm thinking like 4.25, 4.5. Not quite a 5 stars. To me, the ending, I was like so excited. There was all this build up, right? And then the save is happening and all of this, and I just felt like that part went a little bit quickly, and I don't want to say lackluster. It definitely wasn't lackluster. Like I said, I did get emotional, but I guess I wanted a little bit more out of the ending, or like the aftermath. I guess I wanted to see more of like his life after, him being like living life large again. But I don't know. That's just me. So I do think it has 5-star potential, but for me, because of the ending, I think I would probably settle around a 4.25 or 4.5. I'm not sure yet. Finished that this morning, and then today I had just a little bit of the book left, probably like, I don't even know, maybe like 100 pages, but I sat down, I finished it, and this one I kind of want to rate this maybe a 4-star. It was really good, really cute. I really flew through the entire first half of it, as I said. Something that I think became more prominent to me towards the latter half of this book is the found family aspect. And I know that found family gets thrown around a lot, but I truly believe in this case with our main character, Delphi, being kind of like a recluse. She's very antisocial, chooses to stay at home, chooses to not interact with people, which as a person who also sometimes struggles with social anxiety is very relatable. So I loved seeing her come out of her shell and the immediacy of the situation, right? Of this task that she has to do in order to get her life back, essentially. I found that the urgency of that, pushing her to do things out of her comfort zone, was really cool to watch. And it also just makes you think about, like, if you were living like this was your last 10 days on Earth, what would you do? How would you live differently? Would you look back on your life and have regrets, or would you be happy with the way you lived your life? Another book that kind of got me thinking a little bit more deeply than I usually do for a contemporary romance, but I found the magical realism elements of this to be really fun. I loved Merritt, the afterlife therapist, who's just she's quirky, she's out there, kind of pushing Delphi along throughout this to complete her task. Like I said, I loved the found family, especially the parts with Mr. Yoon, which is her elderly neighbor who she kind of takes on as her own grandpa in a way, and like really cares for him and makes sure that he's, got everything that he needs. She cooks breakfast for him, she spends time with him, and I found that really sweet because I love books with older people. I have a soft spot for the elderly for sure, so seeing that representation in here also was like right up my alley. So anyway, a lot of really good things came out of this book. I did like the romance. I wouldn't say this is super spicy at all. I think there was like maybe 2 scenes, and it's not closed door, but it's also not anything like crazy. So in case you want to know what the spice levels are, I really enjoyed the romance. I don't want to give anything away because there are some fun things happening in this book. I did enjoy the romance. I thought the end wrapped up really nicely. And yeah, overall, a good time. I don't think it's like my favorite book of all time, so that's why it's not quite a 5-star, but it was an enjoyable time. So we're gonna sit with about 4 stars on this one. So yeah, that's the updates for now. I have not yet, this has kind of become like a mood reading vlog. I haven't quite decided what I want to read yet. My options are, I also just did my September TBR video the other day, which should be coming up before this video, so you'll see my options in that video. But I'm thinking, so my options are Queen of Shadows reread, or I could do Gothicana, I could read Daydream by Hannah Grace, I could do Dance with the, what is it called? Dance with the Fae Prince, I think. Sorry. By Elise Kova. And I have the Children of Fallen Gods, which is the second book in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy by Carissa Broadbent. So I'm not sure what I want to go with. I'm kind of leaning towards either Dark Academia, so Gothicana, or A Dance with the Fae Prince. So we'll see what I decide. You'll probably see that the next time I log on to this vlog. Hello and welcome back. I think it's been another day. It is now Thursday. I could be wrong. It might have been 2 days. Don't know. But it's now Thursday, and this morning I indeed did pick up Gothicana. Again, don't know how to say this. Gothicana? Gothicana. But I started it, and I am now, after 10, I am 112 pages in, which is about, you can see that, yay far. So not too far in. It's really easy to read so far. I love with Dark Academia when it's very atmospheric, like you're at this dark, spooky, foggy, old castle looking college or university, whatever. And you have this kind of odd, quirky girl as the main character who kind of has like, she gives witchy vibes for sure. She has like crystals on her and has tarot cards, and trust me, I know that those aren't like witchy things, but I don't know, she just like gives off those vibes, right? Like she can hear certain voices and sense different things, and she gets an invitation to go to the school. Obviously, she decides to attend. She has this quirky white-haired roommate, and honestly a lot of this reminds me of like Wednesday Addams and just Wednesday the show in general. A lot of that's kind of giving that show, as well as Nocticadia. And I don't know which book came first, this one or Nocticadia, but I read Nocticadia by Carrie Lake last year and absolutely loved it, devoured it, and this is giving very much kind of this like similar feeling, which I love. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. She has met the professor that is obviously he's the love interest. It says that in the synopsis. There's definitely, they've got tension, but like they can't be together because there's this rule in school that basically if you're with a professor, like you will get kicked out immediately. There's also this mystery of all these people disappearing, like once, I don't know if it's once a year or once every 5 years. I don't know, something like that. Like people are disappearing. So there's this mystery going on. She's hearing these voices. There's these eerie vibes going on all over the school, and that is where we're at. So we're not super far in, but the story is definitely, the scene has been set. I also love how in this edition, which I don't know which special edition this is. I think this is Darkly Bookish Box, but I love how every chapter has this really cool chapter heading, but also like a different quote. Like we've had Edgar Allan Poe, we have Shakespeare, so they're all very dark, mysterious, poetic little quotes to really also help set the scene. So yeah, it's a good time. I really love anything set in a like gothic type of atmosphere, so it's going well. But yeah, I'll probably read a little bit more tonight. I don't know how much I'll read between tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow's another busy day, so we'll see, once I update you again where we're at with that. That's all the updates for now. Oh, and to address the elephant in the room, I did dye my hair. It's been brown for a while, but throughout the summer it's kind of faded and gotten a lot more blonde in the sun and stuff. So yeah, I got more brown put on here, and I'm sure it'll fade out a little bit in a couple washes, but just in case there's a jump scare and you're like, what happened? That's what I did. Okay, hello, and hopefully you can hear me over my dishwasher running in the background, but it's now been another couple of days. I know I have been so horrible with updating this reading blog, but I got like no reading in at all yesterday, like not even one page. This morning I woke up and it was the perfect fall weather and fall vibes outside. It's raining, it's chilly, so I was like, what better time than to pick up Got the Canna again. And I am now, how far am I? I'm on chapter 17, which is like page 194, and pretty much same thing. I'm still loving the vibes. I will say though, I think it was like within the first 40-ish% of the book, we did get a spicy scene. For me, I really like more of a slow burn romance. Once the characters get together, a lot of times I'll kind of like lose interest because that tension and that angst is just gone once they've gotten together. So I was a little bit like disappointed with that and the fact that they do get together like pretty quickly, but I'm now really liking the sense of mystery and like spookiness of the story more. And so even though for me I was a little bit disappointed with the romance, I think the actual plot and story of it and the vibes of it are keeping me in it, keeping me interested. Also, it's not like the romance is like bad or anything. That's just like personal preference for me. I don't like when characters get together too quickly. I'm liking it. I do still like the romance, even though I was disappointed that they got together quickly. Like, I like it for what it is, if that makes sense. The dark academia vibes are great, especially, like I said, like reading this with it raining and chilly out is absolutely perfect. I've got a candle going, I've got all my bookshelf lights on, and it's just a vibe. But yeah, so that is the update with Got the Canna. I'm still invested in like what's going on with the mystery and why these students are either disappearing or like basically killing themselves walking off the freaking roof. So yeah, that part's really interesting to me. Also, real quick, I wanted to do a little mini bookish haul because yesterday I went to Home Goods and Barnes & Noble, and at Barnes I happened to pick up Emily Wild's Map of the Other Lands in the Barnes exclusive edition. I have the Barnes exclusive edition of the first book in the series, and I've been waiting literally like a whole year for the matching edition to come out because I have the UK edition of this book, which is, I don't know if you know, it's much taller and so it doesn't match, and I hate when my books don't match, but so I was like, whatever, I'll just have duplicate copies of this book. It doesn't matter because I do, like, this is one of my favorite series of all time, so I'm okay with having multiple copies. But it's got the deckled edges, which are one of my favorite things in the world. The cover's stunning. The mushrooms, I'm obsessed with mushrooms. Don't know if I've mentioned that. Obsessed. And then the spine, I don't know if you can see that, but it is literally insanely beautiful. And these two spines next to each other are just, they're just gonna make my life. So I have already read this, but I had to snag this copy. So that's all I got from Barnes. And then we went to Home Goods, and I have a couple little bookish items. I got this cutie little cowgirl boot for my bookshelf. I want to put this with my cowboy romances. I've been wanting and meaning to get like a little boot figurine for my shelf, but haven't found the right one. So yeah, found this cutie at Home Goods. So we got that. I think it was only like $5.99, which is not bad. And then I also got some little tea light candles for my ghosty, technically it's a sponge holder, but like I put little tea lights in it, and it's always been fine. So it looks so cute, I think, with the open mouth and having a little candle in it. And these are buttery pumpkin scented, which I don't really know if they really smell like buttery pumpkin, but I love the scent. It smells so good. So I got those. And then I also picked up from Home Goods cream savers. I used to be absolutely obsessed with these. I don't remember who it was that would always have these. I don't know if it was somebody like at church a long time ago. I don't know. But anyway, I used to absolutely love these. And then I'm pretty sure, I thought they had gone out of production. Like nobody was like making these anymore. But I saw them at Home Goods, so I had to have. They are just as delicious as I remember. They are the strawberries and cream flavor, and if you ever come across these and you haven't had them, definitely try them. So good. So that's my mini little haul. I just got 3 little things from Home Goods and then the book from Barnes, which I'm so obsessed with. Like, I cannot stop staring at this cover. It's so pretty. But anyway, that's my little haul and my little book update for you. And yeah, it is Saturday at like 9:30 in the morning. I do have chores to do today, but I am hoping to get a decent amount of reading in. So the next time I update you will probably be when I finish Gothicana, but still enjoying it. Probably, I don't know where it's sitting right now. It's probably sitting somewhere between like a high 3 and a low 4 at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, I will talk to you soon with updates. Okay, so I am finally back with my final thoughts and also to finally close out this vlog. I feel like, well, I have been recording this reading vlog for like 2 weeks now. And I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of, towards the end, lost some steam, hopefully not going into a reading slump, but yeah, I did finish Gothicana today, all 355 pages of it. It was good, I liked it. I don't think it was like the best book that I ever read. I think right now in my mind it's sitting at like a 4-star, so again, definitely recommend it, especially if you like dark, gothic, witchy vibes kind of books, dark academia, spice heavy kind of things, then this is definitely for you. And yeah, so I would recommend it. The only thing, like I said, that hindered the enjoyment of it for me was the fact that the characters got together so quickly into the book, because I prefer more of a slow burn. So there's that. I don't really have any like new thoughts. I did also enjoy the mystery aspect of this. Throughout the whole book, you're kind of following these unsolved mysteries of these students who have disappeared, and other ones who have been murdered. So there's a lot going on at this spooky castle on the mountain. There are some answers at the end, but there's still a lot of unanswered things, and I found that a lot of the time I felt very confused, kind of, and spooked, which I think is the point. Like, you're in the main character's eyes and that's how she feels, so that's how you feel, so makes sense. Really enjoyed the mystery aspect of everything. I do still kind of feel a little bit confused at the end on like what happened, right? But yeah, overall, good time, 4 stars. Spice-wise, probably give it like 3.5. There's definitely a lot of scenes, and it kicked off very quickly, like I said, so just keep that in mind. The final book of the vlog has been read. Okay, so to wrap up the reading vlog, I'm going to do a recap of all of the books that we read. So I ended up reading a total of 4 books, starting with Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I'm not going to go over my thoughts and stuff on these since you literally just watched all that, but I did give this a 4.5 stars. Amazing. This was probably, yeah, this was definitely the star of the video. Then I also I listened to the audiobook of The Martian by Andy Ware, and I gave that 4 stars? No, I think I gave that 4.25 stars. Amazing time. And then I immediately, or around the same time, was reading The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, and I gave this a 4 stars as well. Enjoyed it. And then we rounded off the video with Gothicana by Runix, which I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I think in my mind, now that it's been a day or so, I think it's probably sitting around a 3.5 to 4 stars, but still enjoyable. The vibes were good. And yeah, overall, I would say this was a successful reading vlog. I mean, a lot of 4 stars, so pretty good time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of the YouTube things. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more videos from me. And yeah, that is it for now. And I will catch you next time. Bye!